When a Fox News poll showed some less than flattering approval numbers for Trump, Trump decided that Fox News viewers simply weren't MAGA enough. Otherwise, they would just love everything he does all the time.
So let's talk about the president's job performance. Right now, pretty typical in today's polarized environment, 46% approval rating. Border security, I can't believe it's not 90%, with 0 people coming through the border, but it's at 53%. But overall, when it comes to deportation and other elements of this, he's at 46%. So that's taking into mind maybe the approach to the president who said, and Tom Homan's doing it, the worst first. Get rid of the first, 660,000. The question is, what about people working on the farms? What about people in hospitality? The president last week said, I'm going to change tactics on that, but there's some doubt about the execution.
Donald Trump, the wannabe emperor, has no clothes, and the country knows it, and the polls now reflect it. As Trump's failures continue to pile up, the latest Fox polls show growing public frustration. And his worst numbers, believe it or not, are on an issue that Donald Trump ran on, the economy. Donald Trump is now down 30 points on inflation. 64% of registered voters disapprove of Trump's handling of inflation, and only 34% approve. 58% disapprove of how he's handling the economy overall, and 55% feel pessimistic about the economy. Then there's Donald Trump's foreign policy ratings. 57% disapprove of his foreign policy. The overall job approval rating from the Fox News poll is just 46%, which means that 54% of those that Fox News surveyed disapprove of Trump's overall job performance. And look, Donald Trump has seen these numbers and he is not happy. This morning, Trump took to his social media to lash out at the network, claiming that Fox has been, quote, biased against me for years.
These poll results came out just a day after Trump claimed he had the highest ever approval based on what I'm not sure. He has historically low approval rates. Still, he can usually just say these things without any proof or evidence and get away with it because his MAGA base typically doesn't look for or ask for proof or evidence. They just go off of whatever he says. They truly live in a curated, altered version of reality, a reality that only exists in Donald Trump's head, and that must be a scary place to exist. Right now, Trump is dealing with some serious fracturing within his base. Several other MAGA pundits have been on social media and on podcasts criticizing the supposed no new wars president for even considering U.S. involvement in Iran. Also within the MAGA base, many are disappointed and disapproving of the ways in which Trump and his administration are enforcing his anti-immigration policies. Trump's original pitch was that they were going to get all of these immigrant criminals and drug dealers and terrorists out of the country. But then ICE started arresting and deporting farm workers and hospitality workers. They started showing up at immigration courthouses and sporting events. They started deporting American-born children and arresting American citizens, even congresspeople and mayoral candidates. The backlash from Republican voters was so big that Taco Trump walked back the all-out anti-immigrant campaign, saying farm and hospitality workers would now be protected. That is for now, at least. But speaking of backlash and opposition, the No Kings protests that took place last week on Trump's birthday largely were in opposition to the ICE rampages across the country. And now, according to some estimates, it's said to be the largest protest in U.S. history, beating the previously held record that was held by the 2017 Women's March, which also largely protested Trump, among others. So as much as Trump tries to pretend that people love him and his policies, it's visible and absolutely clear that there is widespread, loud disapproval of him as a president and his administration. But Trump used to be able to take solace in the Fox News crowd. Those were his people, and as long as they were on his side, he'd be able to say he was doing a good job to those people, the people whose opinions he cared about, the people who voted for him. Those never-Trumpers, what do they know? Those TDS victims, who cares what they think? But Trump voters, his supporters, his rally-goers, the Fox News audience, those are the people who really get him and what he's trying to do. As long as they still saw him as good and strong, then he could cling to that. So naturally, when even the Fox News audience turned on him, when those hosts had the audacity to air bad Trump polling numbers to the Fox News audience, the only thing that made sense to him was that they were no longer his people. Either way, it's stupid because the poll represented registered voters, not just Trump supporters or Fox News viewers. He's mad that by showing these poll results on Fox News, the veil that he put over his supporters' eyes is now being lifted by Fox News. So here's another look at those numbers before I get into Trump's reaction. So as you can see, Trump has higher disapproval rates than approval in every category but one: overall job performance, immigration, foreign policy, the economy, and inflation. The only area where they said he was doing all right was in border security, but even there, he's only got a 53% approval rating. So Trump was upset by these numbers because, he tries so hard. But here is what he posted to Truth Social. The crooked Fox News polls got the election wrong. I won by much more than they said I would and have been biased against me for years. They are always wrong and negative. It's why MAGA hates Fox News, even though their anchors are great. This has gone on for years, but they never change the incompetent polling company that does their work. Now, a new Fox News poll comes out this morning giving me little more than 50% at the border, and yet the border is miraculously perfect. Nobody was able to come in last month. 60,000 people came in with Sleepy Joe in the same month last year. I hate fake pollsters, one of the worst, but Fox will never change their discredited pollster. There's a thing happening in the right wing. Honestly, it's nothing new, not for them, not in history, but they've definitely ramped up the rhetoric where this is concerned. If you're not with them, you're against them. If you're not with Trump, you're not really MAGA, and being MAGA is the best thing that you should hope to be. To be a MAGA American is to trust your president and your government completely and without question. Just stop thinking for yourself entirely while you're at it. It's orthodoxy a la 1984. Not thinking, not needing to think, unconsciousness. In other words, the government and its talking heads will just tell you what to think. To that same end, what is the thing that the Christian right loves to say? Have faith, not fear. Faith is illogical and it is unthinking, and it is celebrated as a virtue by so many on the right. So once someone puts their faith into something or someone, in this case Trump and his administration, they shouldn't question anything that these people do or say. So for Trump and other right-wing media figures to declare those now opposing Trump on several different matters as not being real MAGA, what they're saying is that these people aren't doing a good enough job at just blindly trusting. They're saying that those critics are thinking too hard for themselves, and that is a bad thing. They're attempting to shame people into silence and submission by rejecting them from the in-group. And I hope that they don't fall for it, but we are talking about people who have, up until now, fallen for so much of Trump's grift and done so loudly and proudly. I just hope that once the veil has been lifted, it stays up. And the fact that they're speaking out against him or breaking from him now at all is impressive. I just wonder if they can hold this new line that they've created. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.